A legendary person known only by his name, Marcus Aurelius, rose to prominence in history and is regarded as the embodiment of absolute power. Along with his position, he was distinguished by his deep philosophical ideas, rigid moral behavior, and dedication to ideals. He disapproved of ostentatious and opulent pleasures, such as gory performances in the Roman Colosseum and expensive feasts brimming with wine, in contrast to other Roman emperors. With this mindset, he realized that his job was to serve humanity, a noble responsibility bestowed by fate. Marcus Aurelius refused to let fleeting pleasures from this world interfere with his determination to fulfill his life's goal. And what is out of our hands? One of this school's greatest thinkers, Epictetus, made this idea quite plain in his handbook. With the exception of our acts, most events are out of our control. This consciousness is profound, as well as obvious. Use this idea to provide a fresh viewpoint on the world and our interactions with it. The Stoic school of thought does not advocate for total disengagement from society. Rather, it pushes us to acknowledge and be cognizant of our limitations. They contend that concentrating on circumstances beyond of our control just adds needless stress. When suffering permeates one's life, it is frequently because we have an excessive amount of concern for things beyond of our control. Should we persist in allowing other forces to govern us, we shall eventually turn into pawns in the game of fate. Although we willingly gave them that power, we frequently place the blame on people in positions of authority above us. We shall achieve true inner peace when we cease being influenced by outside forces and stop giving them any attention. Aurelius Marcus. His capacity to stay calm in the face of uncontrollable circumstances enabled him to handle the many duties and difficulties that came with being an emperor. He could concentrate on the work. He thought he had been chosen by the gods. Epictetus believed that this independence from other influences could be a means of focusing on worthwhile objectives. For others, it might be a route to a happy and worry-free existence. What should we give up caring about when life gets difficult, and how should we approach it? This movie offers a free analysis and discussion of Marcus Aurelius's philosophy of letting go of material concerns during his meditations. Multiple times, Marcus Aurelius makes a distinction between the past, present, and future. The ancient Roman emperor provides insightful explanations of how we care about people too much, incorrectly, or for the wrong reasons in each category. This suggests that the reason we suffer is because of the thoughts we have about the future. When it comes to the future, our imaginations often run wild and conjure up a plethora of possible outcomes, the most of which are probably never going to occur. In situations like this, we consider how to handle potential consequences while shaking from the fear of not knowing how our lives will turn out or how the future would develop. The events that transpire match our predictions. In several other instances, however, fate catches us off guard and overwhelms us with unanticipated events, for better or worse. According to Marcus Aurelius, we are not burdened by the weight of the future, merely the weight of the here and now bearing down on us. The way we respond to it in the here and now is what will hurt us, not the future. Every future-related suffering occurs in the here and now. It's interesting to note that the future isn't actually happening in the present, because when we obsess about what might happen in the future, life progressively gets worse as we live through it in our minds, letting the future dictate the present. What then did Marcus Aurelius have to say about obsessing about the future? Let's start by thinking about this quote: "Don't ever allow the future to worry you. If it is necessary, you will face it, using the same rational tools that you use to defend yourself from the present. The future is also within your grasp." He counseled against picturing every horrible scenario that might occur, but to accept the circumstances you find yourself in right now. He could bear it when he brought his attention back to the here and now. So why was he unable to handle what was about to happen? This mindset is comparable to the idea of being overly obese. The knowledge that if you can survive it, you can deal with it in the future, which strengthens your love and acceptance of fate. He told himself not to think about all the worst-case scenarios. Rather, he concentrated on how he might control the situation he was in at the time. It was then that he realized he could bear it. If that's the case, why was he unable to handle what was ahead? This viewpoint is comparable to that of amore fati, or the love of one's own destiny, but it is based on the notion that you can overcome obstacles if you can bear them. Marcus Aurelius understood that life is ephemeral and soon vanishes into the wide world that lies beyond our reach. Like the future, the past exists in a world outside of our control. The done is the done. We also cannot alter it unless we create a time machine. Remember that man lives only in the present, stated Marcus Aurelius. In this brief moment, the remainder of his existence is either unknown or has since passed. He therefore counsels us to view the past as irrelevant and meaningless in the here and now. It's not that the past has no bearing on the present, or that we are incapable of drawing lessons from it. We are unable to change the past. It's out of our grasp. Our recollections of the past are frequently hazy, making it challenging to confirm the specifics because of varying viewpoints and personal recollections. But we still care about the past. We frequently repeat the incidents in our minds and feel the hurt they brought. Some people might think that we can exert some influence on the past by reflecting on it. However, that is a delusion. The past is no longer present, and all we're dealing with are our ideas about what is gone and never coming back. Many individuals say, "I wish I had done that differently," yet their wishes are unrealistic. These thoughts are useless because they arouse unsatisfying wants that can never be fulfilled. Marcus Aurelius focuses on his handling of historical events rather than the events themselves. Events in the past are beyond our control, and it's highly probable that they will also be out of our control in the present. But we have power over how we respond to these occurrences. At first, we can think of the past as bad circumstances. We might have gone through a trying upbringing full of obstacles and sufferings, or we might have seen significant relationships come to an end that we believed would last indefinitely. It may also be business ventures that were eventually unsuccessful initiatives that we had high hopes for. But the past is more than just a string of regrettable incidents. It's also a part of our story. The challenges and setbacks of the past can aid in our self-awareness, deepen our exploration of our boundaries, and help us devise strategies for overcoming them. They may turn into priceless lessons that strengthen us and increase our capacity to handle difficulties in the future. Think of the past as an integral element of your life, but not the only factor influencing it. It serves as motivation for you to advance and create a better future. It serves as motivation for you to advance and create a better future. Keep the past out of your mind when making decisions. Make use of it to grow stronger and more self-assured in order to tackle future obstacles. However, Marcus Aurelius does not think much of the substance of these incidents. How he handles them is what counts. He asks whether something that doesn't go against the core of human nature can really be considered unfortunate. Is something bad if it doesn't go against the core of what makes people human? Or do you believe that something can go against nature's will even when it doesn't? Are you aware of nature's will? Because of what has transpired, you are unable to act fairly prosperous, self-restrained, appropriately decided, sincere, modest traits that let your actual self come through. The importance of the past is not completely disregarded by Marcus Aurelius. Using history as a guide, he observes how things develop and recur in cycles. When it comes to the future, our imagination frequently runs wild, conjuring up a plethora of possibilities that may or may not come to pass. We quake with fear of what lies ahead or what our life will bring, and we consider how to deal with such consequences. Sometimes our predictions come true exactly as expected. Many other times, whether for better or worse, fate takes us by surprise with things that we never would have predicted. Some people have spent a great deal of time and energy planning for their dream retirement. However, things don't always go as planned in life. Thus, these plans might not come to pass. We shouldn't give up, though. Alternatively, in order to design a fulfilling and exciting retirement, we can learn to be flexible and modify our plans as needed. As we approach our senior years, a late-stage cancer diagnosis with just a few months to live, the prospect of such an occurrence causes anxiety, as one is always thinking about the best and worst-case scenarios. What happens if there is a third world war? What happens if I am broke? While such negative consequences are conceivable, should we be concerned about them beforehand, as Seneca advised? We worry about the future because we contemplate it. It exists only in our imaginations. In the case that you were diagnosed with a terminal cancer, what would keep you from embracing each day of your brief life and living it to the fullest? No matter what you're going through, get up and hold your head high, whether it's important or not. Put on your best attire, your best shoes, and make memories that people will talk about long after you're gone. Marcus Aurelius concentrates on how he responds to things. We might not be able to control events that occur in the present as well as those that occurred in the past. But we have power over how we respond to these occurrences. At first, we might view the past as a regrettable circumstance. We can have experienced a challenging upbringing, the breakup of a friendship, or unsuccessful business ventures. However, Marcus Aurelius does not think much of the substance of these incidents. How he handles them is what counts. He asked if something that doesn't go against the core of human nature qualifies as a true disaster. Is something considered a disaster if it does not go against the core of human nature? Or do you believe that something can be violated that does not go against nature's will? What is nature's will, do you know? Have the occurrences hindered you from acting in a way that reflects justice, generosity, self-control, wise judgment, honesty, humility, and authenticity? Attributes that support the growth of your true nature. It's interesting to note that Marcus Aurelius acknowledged the importance of the past. He saw how events develop and recur in cycles through the past and used it as a guide. Future developments can be deduced. We now find ourselves in the present. Marcus Aurelius understood that life is only experienced in the present. It is a small field that is within our grasp. The past and the future, however, are quite far beyond our realm of influence. The remainder of our lives have either passed away or are still unknown, leaving only the present to exist for a split second. That being said, we frequently overlook the here and now. We get dissatisfied with the way life is playing out at the time, maybe because our desires aren't being fulfilled or because things aren't going as planned. At this point, the current moment turns into a torturous cage in which we either cling to the fleeting now or suffer under the control of the future. Aurelius Marcus, his counsel is to embrace the current moment and live it to the fullest. He counseled us to control our emotions. Be controlled by the circumstances at hand. Even if we hold on to what we have or dislike what is happening, he held that we have no control over how the world turns out. But we can control how we respond. Although we have no influence over outside events, we do have power over how we respond to them. Let's say you had a challenging upbringing marked by many challenges and misfortunes. It could be simple to write off your past as a string of unfortunate events. Marcus Aurelius' philosophy, however, holds that it is crucial to avoid classifying these occurrences as tragedies, but the way you decide to respond to them. He thought that given the real circumstances, they won't hurt you if you don't see them as catastrophes. It all comes down to perspective, rather than lingering on the difficulties of the past. Consider how these experiences have strengthened and shaped you. You are supporting the Stoic philosophy by doing this. embracing your limitations and developing inner fortitude in the here and now. The natural laws served as Marcus Aurelius's guiding. He would become a deserter and flee from what he should balance with if he rebelled against nature or felt hate or grief for it. Let's say you are dealing with a scenario in your personal life that is rather difficult. You are depressed and hopeless after losing a significant relationship. As per the Stoic school of thought, here's how you can tackle this scenario. Initially, acknowledge the circumstances and acknowledge that ending the relationship is an inevitable element of life beyond your complete control. It matters how you respond to it. Second, give yourself credit. Rather than feeling depressed or guilty about yourself, focus on growing as a person and establishing your internal value. Third, develop and learn. See the breakup of the relationship as a chance to improve and learn. Consider how you can get stronger and what lessons you can learn from this circumstance. Fourthly, be present-oriented. Spend less time dwelling on the past or anticipating the future. Pay attention to the here and now and engage in activities that make you happy. Fifth, establish a communal connection. Try reaching out to friends or the community if you're feeling lonely so you can express your feelings and get support. Sixth, handle your feelings. Instead of allowing your emotions to rule you, learn how to regulate and control them. The art of living is not about the wonderful, unlucky external conditions we experience, as they are erratic, changeable, and unstable. It concerns our responses to the things that happen to us. It is the thing that ought to concern us. Retain it. Try to stay in the now, no matter what challenges you may be facing. Start with something that is easily accessible to you. Start with something that is easily accessible to you. Just get going. Look not upon others. Keep your eyes off the future. Stay away from the past. Take note of what's directly in front of you. And just get going. I wish you luck in getting the good things you want out of life. Recall that although your motivation may fluctuate occasionally, you should persevere and be consistent in all that you do. Before we go, I'd like to tell you a fascinating tale of how Marcus Aurelius fundamentally altered the course of John, the man. Although John is a young, energetic man, he always faces pressure and stress in his life. He works for a big corporation every day, and during those trying times, he consistently feels worn out and uninspired. John started learning about Marcus Aurelius's ideas on leading a purposeful life and working with a moral soul. John was deeply moved by Marcus Aurelius's remarks. He started researching Stoicism more, and started putting this mindset into reality on a regular basis. He gains the ability to handle work and pressure more composedly, better handle stress, and concentrate on what matters most in life. Regards, Marcus Aurelius. John's life took a radical turn. He is now more content, self-assured, and capable of handling any difficulties. His life is no longer as stressful as it once was, and he has noticed a significant shift in his spirituality and way of thinking. Recall that life is an endless trip and that there are priceless moments that have the power to drastically alter our course. Through Marcus Aurelius's reflections, we are exposed to deep ideas about happiness, achievement, and life. This article provides insightful recommendations, incredible insight from one of history's greatest philosophers. It's time to breathe new vitality into your existence. Please enjoy this video for a moment, a portal to a world of fresh insights and learning. We firmly think that you will find profound knowledge and inspiration through these real occurrences. Please feel free to like and share this video with everyone you know if it has touched you. Together, we can build a community rich in knowledge and diverse experiences, as every post you make opens up a new universe. Come along with us on this YouTube channel, where each video offers a fresh experience and a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. If you subscribe to our channel, you'll never miss a thrilling expedition. We appreciate your participation in this adventure and look forward to sharing more magic with you in the future. I'll see you in the upcoming videos. Farewell.